continuation of our conversation with representatives of the North Carolina Council of Churches. Let me begin with Willona, whose program initiative is entitled Partners in Health and Wholeness. Willona, tell us about your work.
Yes, thank you for this opportunity, Bishop Curry. My name is Willona Akinbade, and I am the director of the Council's new health initiative called Partners in Health and Wholeness. The mission of this program is to promote health as a faith issue, to show people of faith that God cares about all areas of our lives, our physical, mental, and spiritual health. We're also building important partnerships between existing health programs across the state of North Carolina. As an example, the American Heart Association has a number of faith-inspired materials to get churches really involved in heart disease and stroke awareness. They have Go Red Sundays where members of the congregations, they wear their red dresses, their red ties and hats as a way to just bring awareness, as I said, to this issue. So we're building these relationships between these existing programs and our congregations across the state, and also helping our congregations to serve as health promotion centers in the community. And these activities can be as simple as serving healthier food options and water as an option at church events, building walking groups or walking trails, I should say, just a variety of activities where they can be really creative about their health, taking small steps towards better health, maintaining tobacco-free buildings, so on and so forth. We recently held an event in downtown Raleigh at First Baptist Church. It was our Faith and Health Summit. It was a wonderful event. We had a number of speakers to come in from across the state to discuss a variety of topics such as church-sponsored community gardens, mental health, helping clergy to identify mental health problems in congregants and to make proper referrals, how to address health disparities through the church, just a number of topics to really get the community involved in seeing that they can be empowered and can make a difference in their health and the health of their neighbors.
George.
Yes.
The council does a lot of work with the North Carolina legislature, and there are ways that people can be involved. But first, tell us about the work that you actually do.
Yes, I'll be glad to do that. Our legislative program is really one of the oldest and most active of the council's programs. It goes back many decades as a vehicle for people of faith to promote a progressive social justice agenda in North Carolina. We have about 2,000 people across the state who receive email alerts from us, who respond to them by being grassroots lobbyists and contacting their legislators on a variety of issues. We actually cover broad range of issues that's broader than any one individual can deal with, and we know it's a cafeteria line for people. So people are concerned about the death penalty, can find information. People are concerned about global warming, can find information. People are concerned about public schools, can find information, and use that information to lobby their legislators at the state level. That's where our work is focused, on whichever issues are of most importance to them. The 2009 session had some successes and issues we've been working on for years, and that'll give a little bit of a flavor of the kinds of things we work on. As most of your viewers probably know, it's a difficult time economically. The state's budget is really stretched, and perhaps our primary success last year was in guaranteeing that the budget wasn't balanced entirely on draconian cuts in the budget, which would have hurt the public schools pretty badly and would have impacted the most vulnerable of our citizens as well. And so even though it required some increase in revenue through increase in tax, it still was the best thing for the state to do to protect the interest of its citizens. We were also very involved in lobbying for the Racial Justice Act, which is an act that permits a defendant in a death penalty case to introduce evidence of racial bias in that case. We worked with a broad variety of organizations to secure the law that guarantees smoke-free bars and restaurants across the state. A pretty remarkable transition in this state whose economy has been very firmly rooted on tobacco. I guess the one other bill I would mention, and again it shows some of the scope of what we do, is that we're involved with others in passing the anti-bullying bill, which included a specific list of the types of students most likely to be bullied in schools, and that list included sexual orientation as one of the categories that often subjects students to bullying. So we have a very active program. We work with others. We don't do any of this by ourselves. We work with other organizations, other allies and colleagues to work for a more just society in North Carolina.
And people can go to the website, sign up, and
You
get
bet.
the policy alerts.
You bet. And I didn't mention that, and I apologize.
No, what would be some other areas you would want to highlight about the council's work? And Bologna, feel free to jump in as well.
Sure. I failed to mention a new health certification program that we have through Partners in Health and Wholeness. And I think that this would be a wonderful opportunity for our congregations to get involved. In January of this year, we unveiled the first tier or the first level of certification. It's our bronze level health certification. And all we're asking is that churches identify a health contact person for me to stay in contact with. Also to maintain tobacco-free buildings and to serve healthier food options at all church functions. And so we feel like any church that is really interested in becoming healthier should be able to reach these small milestones.
So does that mean I won't get barbecue it?
It means you'll have an option.
You'll have an option.
Oh, okay, that's all.
A
Oh,
healthy
Right.
loyal chicken breast.
That's right.
You
Right.
can
Oh,
decide
are
what-
you all or members of the staff available to come to churches, to meet with adult groups, to preach on a Sunday morning and that kind of thing?
You bet.
And so the way to contact you would be through the website or
Right.
Yes.
call.
Yes.
Mhm.
Yes.
Yes.
Now, have you gotten, Jonah Kendall's here, and Jonah is our liaison, diocesan liaison with the Council of Jonah really is going to become the face of the council for the diocese, and that's by design and intent, really, because I wanted to raise the profile of the council, wanted to get more people, clergy and lay, involved in the work of the council and being involved in your legislative work and all of the programs. But wanted to make that accessible. And one thing I've learned is you got to have sort of one-stop shop. The easier it is, if they know Jonah Kendall's who I go to for North Carolina Council, then you got a better chance of getting more people to do it.
Yes.
And so that's
great.
sort of the logic
That's great.
behind it.
And we may find that this is a model that we can take to other judicatories in the state as well. I think it's the one-stop shopping is probably a new idea with our judicatories in the way that you were envisioning it, and have Jonah be in the store.
The store.
One-stop store. One-stop store, yeah. So we may well find this is something that we can take to the other judicatories and let them benefit from our learning experience here. I hope so. I think it's a really good model.
One of the things we've talked about, or I've talked about generally, is that a diocese is a community of communities. And the way a diocese engages questions of public policy is it really done best ecumenically, interfaith, coalitionally, and through the Episcopal Church and its various networks. That's the diocese is sort of a portal to the wider world and community. And so your role in the Council of Churches fits into that and actually is in the number one priority in diocesan budgeting now because of that emphasis. But I'm wondering, John, I know you have a heart for the social gospel.
Yes.
And how you see that in this work.
Yeah, well, I wanted to begin by saying that you referred to it as a one-stop shop.
Yeah.
But I'd like to think of it more as a portal or a gate.
Yeah.
And that really, I hope to serve in that capacity to allow the people of this diocese to step into this larger realm in terms of working on the kinds of issues that we're called to address as a people of faith. I mean, you spoke about it, our faith's call to action. And, I mean, if we think about the love made known in Christ, it is an active and engaging love. The issues that they're dealing with, from global warming to immigration, the death penalty, health, I mean, these are the issues that we deal with on a daily basis. It's a part of the reality in which we live. And if we look back to Matthew 25 and the issues that are addressed there, those who are hungry, those who are thirsty, those who are alienated, and Christ calling us to respond to these issues as a way to more deeply live into our relationship with God and one another, here's an opportunity for us to do this, and to do it in a way that can effect change. And I think that's what's so important about this work. And I think it's what we as a community of faith really have been called together to do, to be agents of change. So I'm really excited about serving in that capacity, and I guess that's where my own heart for social justice comes from,
It does.
worship. So, yes, thank you.
Jonah, thank you.